Hey, how's that? How's that for? Hey, how's that for exciting, kids? Oh boy. Anyway, welcome back. It is 3-1 Edmonton over Florida. 13 minutes left to play, and I'm suppressing a sneeze. Hey! Mm. Achoo! Gesundheit. Let's get with it. We're going to go till about 11:20 tonight. Good luck, I always say. Matt, Ed, and Eddie, how you doing? Yeah, this is take two. If you can hear me, fantastic. If you could see me, even better. Let's get to it, shall we? Uh, some news for you folks, and sort of a stunner. So we need a theme for the L2C as well. That's right. So if you got some talent, you got some songwriter knowledge, you know what you're doing, we need an intro for both Steve Sporty Balls and Last Call Cafe. We'll explain more in due time, and we'll also put it up. If you think we're kidding, we're not kidding. We want to make both shows very much legitimate, as if this is legitimate, which truly it is, but still. We want to get this, we really want to get these shows going. So I'm gonna tweet it out tonight. I'm gonna pin it on my TwitX, which is at Lugnet6. I'll give you all the information coming up before we say our au revoirs. But right now, where the hell were we? Oh yeah, to Vince Russo. Our prayers, our good vibes, our respects, and our love to you and your family. His father had a heart attack yesterday, I do believe. So all of us here are sending the best vibes to you and your family. Speaking of which, I don't choose these things. Well, NFL legend and former Lions Hall of Fame running back Barry Sanders has revealed that he experienced a health scare during Father's Day weekend. Sanders' scare was heart-related. While he didn't provide an update on his condition, Saunders wrote on social media that he is, quote, taking this opportunity to prioritize my health and well-being. It was unexpected and served as a reminder of the importance of staying vigilant about our physical well-being, including our mental, even when we are feeling fine. I am grateful for the amazing doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals for providing me with needed care. My family and I are thankful for your prayers and support during this time. Barry Sanders, Sanders, 55, currently serves as an ambassador for the Detroit Lions. He was recently seen at the 2024 draft, which was held in the Motor City. During the draft, Bill Belichick said that Saunders was the most difficult opponent to defend during his 49 years as an NFL coach. In January, Saunders and former 49er Hall of Famer Joe Montana served as honorary captains for the NFC Championship game, which was won by the 49ers over Sanders' Lions. Last September, Sanders became the first Lion player to have a statue built in his honor in November. Amazon Prime released a documentary on Sanders detailing his career and his decision to retire despite being less than 1,500 yards away from breaking Walter Payton's all-time career rushing record. Okay, we're almost at the halfway point where things start to get a little nervous between Edmonton and Florida. Once again, Edmonton leads 3-1. Florida leads in the series 3-2. If Edmonton wins this one, it goes to Florida for the grand finale. If Florida comes back to win, that's it. And by the way, the man who's running the Edmonton Oilers should know a lot about winning. Ken Holland is his name. That sounds familiar. Yes, the Ken Holland. That Ken Holland of Red Wings fame. Okay, so we've done. We got one down. Alrighty. See if we can't. Here we go. Time for a little soccer and a little bit of the UEFA Euros Championship. It's not been an ideal start to UEFA Euro 2024, and I wish we can play the theme. Okay, that's about it we can play. For favorite France, after a goalless draw with Netherlands in Group D on Friday. However, considering Kylian Mbappe's broken nose and the narrow nature of their opening win over Austria, Les Bleus 4 points from 6, which puts them on course for round 16. It's not that bad either. Especially when you consider that this French defense is yet to ship a goal in Germany this summer. Now, despite a flurry of early chances for both sides in Leipzig, neither Mike Mangen nor Bart Verbruggen could be beaten over 90 minutes, with France particularly guilty of a wasteful finish in front of a goal. On another day, Antoine Griezmann could have had a goal or two. Adrien Rabiot might have had one, and Marcus Thuram could have hit the net too. Yet the closest we came to a goal was Xavi Simon's second half effort for Orange, which was ruled out by via VAR. The lack of clinical edge from Didier Dechamps's men underlined exactly why Mbappe's absence was always going to be so problematic. The Real Madrid-bound superstar brings that difference between taking the precious few chances that come your way in a game such as this and blowing it up with some great shots. So, we'll get you the excitement of soccer, the scoreboard, coming up eventually before we say au revoir to thee. We're gonna go full hour till about 11:30. Okay, in the NBA, they got a coach. But do they also have LeBron? Well, apparently, maybe. LeBron James is expected to opt out of the final year of his current contract with the LA Lakers and become an unrestricted free agent, according to Dan Woik of the LA Times. And according to him, the sense is that he will ultimately elect to remain with the Lakers in the end. Right, because he wouldn't be caught dead in Detroit. However, by becoming an unrestricted free agent, James gains two important rights. The first is obvious. He can sign with any team in the NBA. The second is a bit more obscure, as James has now spent more than 4 years with the Lakers and more than 8 years in the NBA. He's eligible to receive a no-trade clause. No-trade clauses cannot be added to existing contracts and extensions. So if James wants one in LA, opting out was his only path to get one. Now, by opting out, James would cost himself a little bit of money in the new Lakers deal. His projected 3-year max deal as a free agent would come out to roughly $162 million. This figure will begin at his max salary, which is 5% above last season's $47.6 million figure, and that includes 8% raises in the subsequent 2 seasons. Were James to opt in and extend, he'd be making more than $164 million in total over this new deal, because instead of starting at his max, he'd be started at his player option figure of $51.4 million, which is slightly higher. In other words, the man going to still be rich. Now, James cannot sign for more than 3 years because of the over 38 rule. The financial difference in the two contracts is small, and perhaps James views it as insignificant enough to warrant sacrificing for a no trade clause. The Lakers are reportedly open to any contract structure James prefers in negotiating his new deal. He's no dumbass, I'll tell you. He could actually make more money by signing 1-year deals, but that would cost him the financial security of a multi-year deal. Now, while James is widely expected to remain with the Lakers in the end and hopefully play with his son, he will surely receive interest from other teams if he is open-minded about where he plays next season. The Philadelphia 76ers, led by Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, will have maximum cap space and are reportedly hunting for a star. The Orlando Magic and Oklahoma City Thunder, both younger teams on the rise, can get to max cap space with a few moves, so both would potentially make sense if they're willing to spend on an older player. There are also sign and trade possibilities or potentially opt out and trade possibilities as well, as James doesn't have to make his official decision until June 29th, unless ESPN and Jim Gray want to do another one of those lame-ass The Decision specials. But we'll find out. Excuse my sniffing. Okay, excuse my sniffing. I don't have any Kleenexes available to get rid of whatever's stuffing up my schnoz. So, there you go, folks. Okay, we're at 43 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock, giving you an update right now on the Stanley Cup. We are 554 remaining in regulation. It is still Edmonton 3, Florida 1, and the boys and girls in Canada at the Rogers Center, and of course Rogers Communications, Sports and Media, however you want to call their names, are all saying, please, Edmonton, break the curse. Okay, let's get you over to the WNBA side of life. The first round of the WNBA All-Star Game fan votes are in, and they're led by Las Vegas Aces star A'ja Wilson and Indiana Fever rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. Wilson holds 217,773 votes to Clark's 216,427 votes. Running out the top five is Fever second-year forward Aaliyah Boston, New York Liberty forward Brianna Stewart, and Dallas Wings guard Arike Ogunbowale. Chicago Sky star rookie Angela Reese is seventh in the first wave of all-star voting. And let's see. I don't think that other gal is even in this. So let's see. A'ja Wilson first, Caitlin Clark second, Aaliyah Boston third, Brianna Stewart fourth, Arike Ogunbowale is in fifth, Sabrina Ionescu in sixth, Angel Reese in seventh, Kelsey Plum in eighth, Nafisa Collier in ninth, and Derica Hamby in 10th place. And by the way, USA Bolivia is coming up on June 23rd. Just in case you might want to ask, All right. Let's give you some College World Series schedules here. Now, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but here we go. Games Saturday, finals, game 1, Texas A&M versus Tennessee, 7:30 on ESPN. Sunday, finals, game 2, Texas A&M versus Tennessee at 2 on ABC. And then Monday, if necessary, game 3, Texas A&M versus Tennessee, 7 p.m. on ESPN. So there you go, folks. All righty. Ah, yes. We've heard obviously about RoboCop. Well, apparently now, get ready, thanks to AI. Oh, is this going to be fun? For some time now, an automated for some time now, an automated strike zone, informally known as the Robo-Ump, has been used at the AAA level and on occasion at various other rungs of the minor leagues. Recently, Major League Baseball announced plans to use one variation of the automated ball strike system, the challenge system, in all remaining AAA games beginning June 25th. Likely, this signifies that if the ABS challenge system will eventually be used in the majors. Now, this would amount to one of the most drastic structural changes to the Major League Baseball game in some time, and it likely leaves fans with questions about what the ABS system is, how it works, and what it'll be like to see in action. Now, what follows is an attempt to answer. These questions might be bubbling up in your head. So, how is it possible to automate the strike zone? The ABS system utilizes a Hawkeye camera technology to determine whether each pitch is in or out of strike zone. That's tailored to each hitter. A generalized 2021 explanation from three engineers who have worked on the system in use. The ABS system design has four discrete subsystems: the MLB tracking system, an interface the ballpark operator uses to set the correct batter, an MLB server that receives the tracking data and has the ball strike evaluation code, and a low latency communication system to relay calls to the umpire. Now, as for the strike zone, as noted, it's player specific, which means that, say, Aaron Judge and Jose Altuve have the same zone perimeters. That even means that Dansby Swanson and Tim Anderson, listed at 6'1", would not have the same zones because of stance difference. So no, this is not the rudimentary and occasionally misleading zone you've been accustomed to seeing during all the TV games. What Baseball America's J.J. Cooper reported in August of last year about the latest round of ABS system zone refinements. Quote, now the ABS system will use the Hawkeye system visual tracking to set the AAA strike zone. Since the Hawkeye system tracks each player's limbs, the strike zone will now be set individually for each player. The system will set the bottom of the strike zone at a player's knees. For the top of the zone, the strike zone will be set as two baseballs above the midpoint of the measurements of a player's left and right hips. That's aimed to put the top of the zone near the belt line. The new zone will mean each player's strike zone is uniquely tied to their body and stance rather than a universal formula. The new strike zone is hoped to more closely resemble the strike zone used by human umpires, although the top end is still designed to be lower than the top end of the MLB strike zone. End quote. The level of individualizing is necessary to make an automated zone fair to all hitters, and what's described above achieve that quite well. Yes, sir, indeed. Now, if we can only find someone to make a perfect martini. Anyway, a good live shot, and Edmonton scored. It is now 4-1 Edmonton over Florida. Uh, 3:15 remaining, and it looks like it's back to Florida. So, Yahoo! Mm. Excuse me. Correction, make that 5-1. And to quote a favorite sports anchor of mine on the old Fox Sports live show with Dan and Jay Onright, Bobrovsky is off the case. They got to him early, too. Wow. Nice line. The crowd is so loud. Personally, I'm glad we can't let you hear the crowd, but wow. I think I see him. Yeah. Yeah, he's the one wearing the Viking helmet. The horns. Good going, Harry. Anyway, we got about 2 minutes, and 2 minutes left, and it's all over. Game 7 will be Monday night at 8, and you get to see it on ABC, ESPN, and of course on Sportsnet and the CBC. It's 5-1 Edmonton. Congratulations. Okay. Time for us, before we go to the scoreboard, let's hit you up with some stuff from our friends at Awful Announcing. We can do that. Huzzah, huzzing, huzzoo. I guess not. Oops. Well, that's okay. All right, folks. Awful Announcing. We got you some news for you. Well, the battle continues. I'm going to just, lay out for the last 50 seconds and give you the play-by-play here, since we can't actually belt the sound up. Well, the saga of a bankrupt Diamond Sports Group continues. Let's give it to you straight, man. Half a loaf is better than nothing. That's what they say, and that's what Major League Baseball got in its bankruptcy court Friday. Whether that'll be enough to prevent MLB from protesting Bally Sports Regional Networks, soon to be FanDuel Regional Sports Network. Reorganization plans, which may help shape the structure of live local sports in years to come, is still unknown. The federal bankruptcy judge overseeing the plan granted Major League Baseball's request to see crucial clauses in contracts between Bally Sports and cable distributors like Charter, Cox, and DirecTV, which strenuously opposed that for privacy concerns. But the judge remains steadfast, and I'm going to stop right there because we got 37 seconds left. And they're not stopping. They're just going around passing the puck. And the poor Florida Panthers are just standing there wondering just what the bleep to do. Well, there's 25.1 seconds. We're going to say it. Hello, Florida, Monday, 8 o'clock. And Harry, if you're listening to us, if you're got your phone on, you get your ass back here to the studio. If Edmonton wins, you and most of our crew can party till it's 2024. Okay, 17 seconds left. Edmonton 5, Florida 1, and ladies and gentlemen, We're off to Florida. But a little more extracurricular activity between both teams, but it don't matter. The Edmonton Oilers have come back from a deficit of 3-0 to tie it up and win 3 games, the 4th, 5th, and 6th game of the series. Now it comes down to Monday night, 8 o'clock on ABC, ESPN, the CBC, Sportsnet, and anyone else. Back to the story. Let's see. But the judge remains steadfast that Major League Baseball cannot see a breakdown of revenues that have come in and in the future into Bally Sports from individual distributors, only a sum that aggregates the payments. Major League Baseball, MLB outside counsel Jim Bromley wrote the judge last night. MLB and the club simply cannot conduct the required scenario analysis of likely business outcomes if the debtors provide access only to information about the aggregate revenues projected to be generated. This level of detail is necessary to examine how the revenues might be impacted by, for example, the loss of a distributor. MLB wants to know, for example, how much Comcast paid Bally Sports before the two sides failed to renew on May 1st. MLB cited Comcast's absence as a major headwind blowing against confirmation. For now, it will not get to see how much Comcast paid Bally Sports. Bally's parent company, Diamond Sports Group, filed for Chapter 11 in 2023 and planned to wind down operations at the end of this year. At its peak, Bally Sports had 19 RSNs and 42 NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball deals. It is now down to 17 regional sports networks, 11 MLB teams, while talks are ongoing with the NBA and NHL. In January, it pivoted to a reorganization plan after securing new financing, a settlement with then-parent company Sinclair, and a new distribution deal with Amazon Prime Video. The Amazon contract was also the source of a discovery dispute with MLB, but the parties told Judge Chris Lopez they settled that disagreement. All discovery material, documents, and answers to questions are due next week, and depositions are scheduled for early July. Judge Lopez said earlier this week that if MLB, after deposing Bally Sports executives, still did not have the information it wants, which seems clear will happen, as it wants a distributor-by-distributor breakdown of revenue into Diamond Sports Groups, the league can come back to them. That does not leave much time, as the confirmation hearing is scheduled for the 29th of July. MLB is concerned that it is not viable for DSG to exit Chapter 11, and if it does so and falters, MLB will again be left scrambling to find alternate broadcast options for the Bally teams, as it did last year for the Padres and the Diamondbacks when their contracts were terminated. The NBA and NHL will have similar concerns about DSG, but their counsels have largely taken a backseat to MLB this week. They did score one win today, MLB did. League will get to see the most favored nations clauses in the distribution contracts, something the distributors had generally opposed. These clauses say if another provider signs a deal with DSG that offers friendlier terms, and those terms also apply to it. Wow. With respect to the MFN clauses, common sense dictates that the application of these clauses would impact a broad range of contractual terms, such that overall financial performance of the debtors under each distribution agreement could change based on whether or not the clauses are triggered. In other words, this may finally be resolved. Hallelujah, St. Louis. Okay, so as the clock ticks to July 29th, we'll let you know what happens, as always, here on this very fun show. 5-1, Edmonton beats Florida. Monday night, the conclusion. Let's see. This week, Fox Sports Radio host Doug Gottlieb had quite the reaction to Stephen A. Smith report about new head coach J.J. Redick and the Los Angeles Lakers. Gottlieb called Smith a race baiter after Smith shared that black coaches around the NBA felt the timing of Redick doing a podcast with superstar LeBron James put former head coach Darvin Ham in a bad spot. But at the same time, Gottlieb brought out the big guns against Smith. He also claimed he was once a finalist to replace Skip Bayless as Smith's co-host and sparring partner on First Take. In a response to Gottlieb on Friday's episode of Stephen A. Smith's show, Smith denied Gottlieb's claim, completely saying the new Wisconsin Green Bay head men's basketball coach was lying through his teeth about the job opening. And ultimately, Max Kellerman took Bayless' spot for about 5 years. In the fall of 2021, Smith became the sole host of the show alongside anchor and rumored main squeeze Molly Curran. Smith said he was unsure where Gottlieb got off base about his candidacy. Gottlieb worked at ESPN from 2002 to 2012, meaning he was not employed by the network when Bayless' position came open. All I'm going to say to it is, yawn. Look at Stephen A. Smith is, I'm going to say it, and frankly, it has to be said, Stephen A. Smith is the biggest self-promoting piece of BS I've ever heard. Everything that he picks up, it's all about him. No one else. It's him. That's why I stopped watching First Take, because frankly, I got tired of it all being him. No offense. I mean, he was a good columnist. He was one of the leaders of the sports reporters, but he was third rung. There were others. He wasn't the main cog. So he refused a new deal, I take it. ESPN and Stephen A. Smith reportedly are $7 million a year apart. Oh, this is bizarre. What is keeping Stephen A. Smith worth to ESPN? I'll tell you what it is. It's simple. He wants a part of it. He probably wants the 20% Hearst has. I mean, think about it. He wants power. And power, what he wants, I will tell you. The power he wants the big power. He wants control of ESPN. 20%, it's just the beginning. I mean, really, I don't blame him for wanting power.